Chapter 1. Clara. You're going to San Diego. I stare at Brandon. He's my boss, my direct supervisor, yet he always springs things on me at the last minute. He stares back. Neither of us speaks. Then I slowly lower the spreadsheet I've been pretending to work on. "I'm sorry?" Brandon smiles. That smile, the one he uses when he's about to hand somebody else a problem. San Diego? The client meeting? I blink. The client meeting that's tomorrow? That's the one. The one you've been preparing for 3 weeks? Exactly. I wait. He waits. Something is wrong. Very wrong. Because Brandon has spent the last 3 weeks telling everyone within hearing distance that this account is the most important project he's handled all year. He has also spent the last 3 weeks doing almost none of the work. Guess who did the work? Me, of course. I'm the only Omega on the team, which makes me an easy target. Most companies won't even hire Omegas, let alone give them a marketing assistant position. Brandon knows that he can make me do anything by dangling a carrot in front of my eyes, telling me he'll recommend me for promotion to the marketing strategist role. Advancing in my career has always been my dream, but at 30 years old, it's starting to look like it'll never happen. I glance at the clock. It's 10:30 in the morning. Then I glare back at him. Why am I going? Brandon leans back in his chair. I have a personal matter. I stare at him. A personal matter? Yes. What kind? His smile tightens. Personal. Right. Of course, the magical category of excuse that apparently outranks every professional obligation. I know better than to ask. Brandon has been my manager for 2 years. He's perfected the art of assigning work without appearing to assign work. He delegates. That's what he calls it. Everyone else calls it dumping. I thought you were presenting. I was. I've had to make some adjustments. I look at the presentation open on my monitor. My presentation, my research, my campaign ideas, my revisions, my client notes. Brandon's name is at the top. Mine isn't. Again. Clara. I look up. Yes? I need you to go. There's no other choice. You know I can't leave this to anyone else in the department. There it is. Not a request. Not really. Just another task sliding down the corporate food chain until it lands on the person least likely to complain. Me. I take a slow breath. Okay. Brandon's smile returns. Great. I knew you'd understand. I almost laugh. I understand plenty. I understand that he doesn't want to go. I understand that he has somehow turned a personal appointment, which probably means a date with his newest sugar baby, into a business emergency. And I understand that I'm about to spend the next 2 days cleaning up a mess I didn't create. What I don't understand is why I agreed so quickly. Maybe because part of me is curious, because this isn't an ordinary client meeting. By the way, Brandon says, you won't be going alone. The marketing director will be going with you. Ophelia Hart, I ask, shocked. I'm glad you remember her name, Brandon says sarcastically. I'm meeting Ophelia Hart, the only female marketing director, the woman everyone is afraid of. And, unfortunately for my professional dignity, I've been fascinated by her for months. Not because she's the marketing director. Not entirely. I like women in power. There, I admit it. I'm attracted to women who walk into rooms and make people pay attention. Women who know what they're doing. Women who don't apologize for taking up space. Women who can look at a senior executive and say no without their voice shaking. Ophelia Hart is apparently all of those things. I've never spoken to her for more than 30 seconds. That hasn't stopped my imagination from doing overtime, unfortunately. I gather my notebook. Brandon is already turning back to his computer. Flight details will come through. Of course. And Clara, I pause. Yes? Make sure everything is ready. I look at him. He looks at me. I smile. Don't worry. His shoulders relax. I won't. I return to my desk. The moment I sit down, my coworker Jess rolls her chair closer. Her eyes are enormous. "You're going with Ophelia?" I glance around. 3 other heads have already turned our direction.
Apparently, this office has the subtlety of a theater audience. Apparently. Jess lowers her voice. Are you insane? I don't think so. People come back from meetings with Ophelia changed. I raise an eyebrow. Changed how? Quieter. Another coworker, Nina, leans over the divider. More organized. Someone behind us adds, terrified. A few people laugh. I smile despite myself. She's not that bad. Everyone stares at me. I look around. What? Nina shakes her head. You've never actually met her. That's true. Then don't say that. Jess leans closer. Do you know what happened to the East Coast campaign? I shake my head. Ophelia killed it. Why? 10 minutes. I wait. 10 minutes of what? Meeting. Jess lowers her voice dramatically. She looked at the campaign for 10 minutes and asked 3 questions. And the entire thing was scrapped. I blink. That's impressive. Jess looks offended by my reaction. You're supposed to be scared. I might be. You don't sound scared. I'm intrigued. Nina laughs. That's worse. Another coworker joins in. She remembers everything. What does that mean? Everything. He points at me. She'll remember something you said 6 months ago. That's probably useful. Not when she remembers you said something stupid. I laugh. Jess shakes her head. She can tell when someone hasn't read their own report. How? She asks one question. And if you don't know the answer, you're finished. I look down at my notebook. Interesting. Very interesting. Nobody seems to know that this is exactly the sort of woman I admire. Competent, controlled, difficult to impress. I find myself wondering what she thinks of people, what she notices, whether she can tell when someone is nervous, whether she notices when someone is pretending to know something, whether she notices me. That last thought makes my stomach flutter. Ridiculous. I haven't even met her properly. I return to my computer. Nobody survives an unprepared presentation with her, Jess says. I'll prepare. You really aren't afraid. I didn't say that. You smiled. I smile when I'm terrified. That's not reassuring. Before I can answer, the entire section of the office goes quiet. Not gradually, instantly. It's strange, like someone flipped a switch. I look up and see that someone has walked in. It's her. Ophelia Hart has entered the workspace. Oh, I understand now. The rumors didn't adequately prepare me for how gorgeous she looks. She's tall. Not impossibly tall, just enough that she seems to rise above the room. Her dark auburn hair is pulled into a sleek, low ponytail. Her suit is deep navy. Simple, perfectly fitted. No unnecessary jewelry, no flashy accessories, just a watch and a pair of small gold earrings. Her expression is composed. Not cold, controlled. There's a difference. Cold people don't care. Ophelia Hart looks like she cares about everything. She's simply selective about what deserves a reaction. Her eyes move across the room. People straighten. Conversations disappear. I watch her walk toward us. My pulse starts beating faster. Then I catch her scent. Sandalwood. Something warm beneath it. Bergamot. Amber. My omega instincts respond before my brain does. My shoulders loosen. My breathing steadies. The strange thing is that I don't feel more nervous. I feel safer. That makes absolutely no sense. She's an alpha, a powerful one with a scent that's overwhelming even from so far away. A woman everyone in the building is apparently terrified of. And somehow her scent makes me feel like everything is under control.
I hate how much I like it. Ophelia stops beside my desk. Her eyes settle on me. Clara Bennett? My heart stops. Actually stops for approximately 1 full second. I look up at her. Yes? She studies me. Not rudely, just carefully. I need a word. My coworkers disappear into their screens with astonishing speed. I stand. Of course. Ophelia turns. I follow her. Every step feels too loud. She leads me toward one of the smaller conference rooms. The glass door closes behind us. Suddenly, it's quiet. Just her, me, and the faint scent of sandalwood hanging in the air between us. Ophelia gestures towards the chair. Sit. I sit. She takes the chair opposite me. She doesn't open her laptop. She doesn't look at her phone. She simply looks at me. I have never been so aware of my own posture. Brandon told me you're coming with me tomorrow. Yes. Why? I hesitate. Because he has a personal matter. One eyebrow rises. I immediately regret speaking. I see. The 2 words contain an entire opinion. I look down to hide my smile. Ophelia notices. You find that amusing?
No, you smiled.
I do that when I'm nervous.
I've noticed. My head snaps up.
You have?
The corner of her mouth moves. Barely.
You're not very difficult to read.
Wonderful. I'm already embarrassed. And we've been alone for approximately 90 seconds. She reaches for the printed presentation. I've reviewed the material. I nod. Okay. I have questions. Sure. She asks one. I answer. Another. I answer that too. Another. Then another. The questions aren't complicated, they're specific. She wants to know why we chose one audience instead of another, why we changed the campaign's tone, why the final presentation emphasizes one part of the proposal. I explain. She listens. Actually listens. Not the way Brandon listens. Brandon listens while waiting for his turn to talk. Ophelia listens like she wants to understand. There's something almost unnerving about it. She doesn't interrupt. She doesn't look bored. She doesn't glance at her phone. When I finish answering, she simply nods, "You know this campaign very well." "I worked on most of it." Silence. I realize what I just admitted. Ophelia's gaze sharpens. Most? I swallow. Yes. How much is most? I glance at the presentation, then back at her. I did the research, the first draft, the revisions, the client notes, and most of the presentation. Brandon? He reviewed it. Reviewed it. Yes. She leans back. Her expression gives nothing away. I immediately start wondering whether I've said too much. Maybe I should have defended him. Maybe I should have lied. Maybe I should have... Why is his name on the front page? My mouth goes dry. He's my manager. That wasn't my question. I look at her. There is no accusation in her voice, just expectation. So I tell her the truth. Because he's the manager. Ophelia's eyes stay on mine. Then she looks down at the presentation again. I see. Something about the way she says it tells me she sees much more than that. She closes the folder. You should have been in the meeting from the beginning. I stare at her. Nobody has ever said that to me. Not like that. Not as though it were obvious. Not as though my absence had been the mistake. My chest tightens. Thank you. She gives a small nod. Then, unexpectedly, she says, Come on, I'll buy you coffee. Ever been to the cafe downstairs? I blink. What? Before we leave, I have more to ask you, and I need coffee. I suspect you do too. Oh, yeah. She watches me. Is that a problem? No. Good. I stand. She stands too. For a moment, we're facing each other across the table. I suddenly become painfully aware of the height difference, the confidence, the strength, the calmness in her eyes. She opens the door. Come on. I follow. We walk toward the elevators. The doors open. We step inside. The doors close. And suddenly we're alone. The elevator begins descending. I stand beside her.
Not too close. Definitely not too close. Then Ophelia shifts slightly. Her sleeve brushes my arm. My entire body notices. My Omega instincts practically sit up and pay attention. And then her scent reaches me again. Stronger here, contained inside the elevator. Sandalwood. Warm amber, something clean and steady beneath it. I breathe in before I can stop myself. My shoulders loosen. My thoughts quiet. For the first time all morning, I don't feel like I'm being thrown into a business trip I didn't ask for. I feel safe. Safe beside her. Which is ridiculous, because Ophelia Hart could probably make an entire conference room panic by looking at it. But standing beside her feels different. Like being near someone who knows exactly what she's doing. Someone who would handle the problem if something went wrong. Someone strong enough that I wouldn't have to pretend to be. I glance at her. She's looking straight ahead. I wonder what she's thinking. I wonder if she noticed my breathing in her scent. I wonder if she thinks I'm incompetent. I wonder if she thinks I'm attractive. The last thought arrives without permission. I immediately hate myself for having it. Ophelia turns her head. Our eyes meet. I look away. Too late. Her mouth curves slightly. You seem nervous around me. I swallow. There is no point in lying. You're intimidating. Her mouth twitches. Good. The elevator doors open. I step out beside her and realize with absolute certainty I'm doomed.
Chapter 2. Clara. The cafe is quieter than I expected. Maybe because everyone in the building knows Ophelia Hart is here, or maybe because I'm projecting. Probably the second one. I follow her through the glass doors and immediately realize something important. Ophelia Hart is not a normal person. Normal people look at menus. Ophelia looks at the menu for approximately 3 seconds. Then she looks at me. What do you want? I blink. Coffee. I assumed that. Then why ask? Her eyebrow lifts. I'm trying this thing called conversation. I stare at her, then laugh. The sound escapes before I can stop it. Ophelia's expression changes, just slightly, like she's surprised she managed to make me laugh. Iced latte. Anything in it? Vanilla. She nods. Anything else? No. Food? I'm fine. She gives me a look. What? You said that very quickly. I'm not hungry. That wasn't the question. I smile. I'm really not hungry. She studies me for another second, then turns toward the counter. 1 iced vanilla latte. She pauses. Large. I look at her. Large? You'll need it. I'll need it. You've been awake since early this morning, you're traveling tomorrow, and you apparently do the work of 2 people. I stare. She looks completely serious. Then adds, possibly 3. I laugh again. This is not what I expected. At all. Ophelia Hart is supposed to be terrifying. She is supposed to be the woman who makes senior executives question every career decision they've ever made. Instead, she's standing in front of a coffee counter, arguing with me about caffeine. It's disorienting. She takes her coffee black, which I predicted. No sugar, no cream, no nonsense. I watch her take the cup from the barista. She turns to me. Here. I take mine. Thank you. She nods toward a small table near the window. We sit. For a few seconds, neither of us says anything. Outside, people move along the sidewalk. Cars pass. The city hums around us. Inside, everything feels strangely calm. I take a sip. Ophelia watches me. What? Nothing? You're staring. I know. That makes me laugh. She looks almost pleased with herself. You're very honest. I thought you'd like that. I do. The answer is immediate. Something warm moves through my chest. I take another sip of coffee. I need to stop reading meaning into everything she says. Unfortunately, my brain refuses. She likes honesty. Does that mean she likes me? No, obviously not. She means professionally. Probably. Definitely. Unless... No. Stop. I look out the window. So, I say, desperate to change the subject, do you always drink your coffee black?
Usually. Why? She looks down at her cup. Because I'm bitter. I choke on my drink. Ophelia's mouth twitches. That was a joke. I know. You looked horrified. I was impressed. By my humor. By the fact that you tried. She stares at me. I immediately realize what I've said. Then she laughs. Quietly. It's barely more than a breath. But it's real. And I think I might like that sound more than I should. Careful, Clara. Why? Because you'll damage my reputation. I'd hate to do that. Everyone worked very hard to build it. I smile. I heard. She takes another sip. I study her over the edge of my cup. This woman is different outside the conference room. Not completely. She's still composed, still confident, still carrying herself like she knows exactly where she's going. But there's something softer around the edges. Her shoulders aren't quite as rigid. Her expression isn't as severe. She seems human. I don't know why that surprises me. Maybe because people talk about her like she's some corporate myth. Ophelia Hart.
The ruthless alpha. Nobody talks about the fact that she apparently makes terrible jokes about coffee, or that she keeps glancing at my cup to make sure I'm actually drinking it. I wonder how many people ever bother to notice those things. I realize I'm staring again. Ophelia catches me. Something on my face? No. Then why are you looking at me? I hesitate. Because you're beautiful. Obviously, I can't say that. I was wondering something. What? Do you ever get tired of everyone being afraid of you? She considers that. Sometimes. The answer surprises me. Really? People tend to tell me less when they're afraid. I nod slowly. That makes sense. I'd rather people tell me the truth. I look at her. I think you're intimidating because you expect people to know what they're doing. Is that unreasonable? No. I smile. Just terrifying. She gives me a look. You're still here. Unfortunately. She smiles. It's small, barely there, but I see it, and something inside me shifts. I don't just admire her anymore. I like her. That realization arrives quietly, almost unnoticed, but once it settles, I can't pretend I don't know. I like the way she talks. I like the dry humor. I like that she listens. I like that she noticed my work. I like that she remembers my coffee. And I like the way her presence makes some deep, instinctive part of me feel safe. That last one scares me, because I don't usually feel safe around alphas. Not because they've hurt me, because most of them eventually want something from me. A relationship, a family, children, a quieter life. A life that looks suspiciously like giving up my own. A male voice interrupts us. Ophelia? Her entire expression changes. It's subtle, so subtle I almost miss it. Her shoulders straighten. The little softness disappears from her face. Her jaw tightens. I turn. A man is approaching our table. He's in his late 50s, and he's wearing an expensive suit. His silver hair is combed back. The kind of person who probably has a reserved parking space and expects people to know it. He smiles broadly. Well, I haven't seen you in ages. Ophelia's voice is polite, controlled. Martin? Martin pulls out the chair opposite us without asking. I heard you were flying out tomorrow. Yes. Still working yourself to death, I see. Ophelia takes another sip of coffee. I've survived so far. He laughs. Still sharp. His eyes move toward me. And who's this? Clara Bennett. Martin nods. Marketing? Yes. Assistant. I nod. Interesting. Something about the way he says the word makes my stomach tighten. He looks back at Ophelia. So you're taking assistants on trips now. Clara worked on the account. Of course she did. I don't like that tone. Not at all. He leans back. You've come a long way, Ophelia, although I'm surprised you're still at director level. Silence. I feel it immediately. The air changes. Ophelia's fingers tighten slightly around her coffee cup. Just once, a tiny movement, but I see it. Martin doesn't. Or maybe he does. 15 years here and still no VP title. Ophelia's voice is quiet. I've been busy. Yes, you certainly have. He chuckles. You've always worked harder than everyone else. Something about the way he says it makes it sound like an insult. Still, there comes a point when working hard isn't enough. My stomach twists. Ophelia looks at him. Martin smiles. You know what I mean. You don't have a degree. They're not going to promote you, no matter how competent you are. Ophelia's expression remains perfectly still, but I can see it now. The tension, the slight stiffness in her shoulders, the way her thumb presses against the coffee cup. She looks like someone trying very hard not to react. Martin continues.
You've done remarkably well without a degree. Remarkably well. Like she's some fascinating exception. Like she's lucky to have made it this far. I feel anger rising in my chest. Not for myself, for her. And I barely know her. Martin glances at me. You should take notes, Clara. I look at him. Notes? Hard work is admirable. He smiles. But credentials matter. I don't know what to say. Thank goodness he stands to leave. I'll let you two get back to it. He pats Ophelia's shoulder. She doesn't move. Good luck, Tuaro. Thank you. He walks away. I watch him disappear through the doors, then look at Ophelia. She's staring at her coffee. I don't know what to say. I've never been good at pretending not to notice things, and I noticed. Everything. The tension in her jaw, the stiffness in her shoulders, the way she didn't look up until Martin was gone. I take a breath. Are you okay? I'm fine. The answer is immediate. Too immediate. Did he insult you because he said you don't have a degree? She looks toward the window. I don't like discussing this. Okay. I leave it there for about 5 seconds. Then I say, but you don't deserve that. She looks back at me. The silence stretches. I suddenly worry I've gone too far. I didn't mean... I know. Her voice is quieter now. I wait. She takes a slow breath. My parents left me at an orphanage. I freeze. What? She looks down at her coffee. I was very young. I don't know what to say. Ophelia Hart, the alpha everyone fears, the woman who can walk into a room and command it. Abandoned. She continues before I can respond. I spent most of my childhood there. My chest aches. Why weren't you adopted? Her eyes lift. I don't know. The answer is simple. That's what makes it worse. I was an alpha, she says. People usually want alpha children. I swallow. But nobody chose you? Her expression tightens. No. The word is barely audible. I feel something inside me crack, because suddenly all those rumors seem ridiculous. The ruthless director, the terrifying alpha, the woman who never makes mistakes. She's also the little girl nobody came back for. I look at her differently now, not with admiration, not just admiration, with something softer, something painful. She continues. I started working after school when I was old enough. Doing what? Whatever paid, she shrugs. Cleaning, deliveries, reception work, retail. She says it casually, like she's listing errands. I learned quickly. I can tell. Her eyes meet mine. I didn't have a degree, so I had to become better than people who did.
I understand that sentence more than she probably realizes. I look down at my hands. I'm an Omega. People don't exactly expect great things from us. I know. Sometimes I feel like no matter how hard I work, someone will always think I'd be better off getting married. Ophelia's expression softens. Because you're an Omega. I nod. You know what it's like when people decide what your life should look like before they know you. My throat tightens. Because she's right. Completely right. And suddenly, I understand why I was drawn to her before I ever spoke to her. It wasn't only because she's powerful. It wasn't only because she's beautiful. It wasn't even because she's an alpha. It's because she understands what it's like to be underestimated, to have people look at you and decide your limits before you've had the chance to prove them wrong. I smile faintly. I think that's why I like working with you. Ophelia's eyebrow rises. You've worked with me approximately 4 hours. Exactly. She laughs. A real laugh this time. Warm, quiet, beautiful. I can't help smiling. She shakes her head. You're strange, Clara Bennett. Is that bad? No. She picks up her coffee. I think I like it. My heart gives one hard, traitorous beat. I take a sip of my latte, trying desperately to look normal. It doesn't work. Ophelia watches me. The corner of her mouth lifts, and for the first time since she walked into our office this morning, she doesn't look like the terrifying marketing director everyone whispers about. She just looks like Ophelia. And somehow, I think I like her much better this way.
Chapter 3. Clara. Airports are designed to make people miserable. I'm convinced of it. The lighting is too bright, the coffee is too expensive, everyone is either rushing somewhere or standing directly in front of the departures board as though staring harder will make their flight leave sooner. And yet, somehow, I don't mind any of it this morning, because Ophelia is standing beside me. We're waiting at the gate. She's holding 2 coffees. She hands one to me. I look at it, then at her. How did you know? She looks genuinely confused. Know what? My order. She raises an eyebrow. You told me yesterday. I did? Twice. Oh. She studies me. You're forgetful. I'm nervous. About the flight? She nods. Good. I laugh. Why is that good? Because I was starting to think you were nervous because of me. My face warms. She smiles. I hate that she notices everything. We board a few minutes later. We're sitting beside each other. I stare at the seat assignment, then at her. Did you arrange this? No. Are you sure? I don't manipulate airline seating charts. That's exactly what someone who manipulates airline seating charts would say. She gives me a sideways look. I'll remember that. I smile. Please don't. She settles into her seat. The moment the plane takes off, I feel myself relaxing, partly because flying doesn't bother me, mostly because Ophelia is beside me. Her scent is faint at first, then stronger once the cabin doors close. Sandalwood, amber, warmth. My Omega instincts settle almost immediately. It's strange. I've never understood the idea that an alpha's scent could make an Omega feel safe. Now I understand it perfectly. I look out the window. Clouds stretch beneath us. The city disappears. For a while, neither of us speaks. I expect the silence to be awkward. It isn't. Ophelia seems perfectly comfortable with quiet. I glance at her. She's looking through the window too. You like flying? I like looking down. At what? Everything. I smile. That's surprisingly philosophical. Don't spread it around. I turn toward her. What do you do when you're not terrifying people? Watch old movies. I blink. Seriously? Yes. Black and white ones? Mostly. I didn't expect that. What did you expect? Something involving spreadsheets. She looks offended. Spreadsheets are my professional life. They aren't my personality. Could have fooled me. She smiles. And you? I take photographs. What kind? Anything interesting. Buildings, people, beaches. You like beaches? Very much. Anything else? Trying local food, exploring new cities. She nods. Then maybe you'll like San Diego. Maybe? We might finish early. And? Her eyes meet mine. We could see some of it. I smile. Are you suggesting sightseeing? I'm suggesting that you shouldn't spend your entire trip inside a conference room. I grin. I thought you were going to make me work. I might. There she is. She laughs, then turns back toward the window. I catch myself smiling. The conversation ends there. It doesn't need to continue. Somehow, it feels like we've already learned something about each other. And I like that. More than I should. The meeting ends early. Not just early, much earlier than expected. I sit beside Ophelia as the client shakes our hands and thanks us for the presentation. I'm still processing what happened. We actually did it. The client agreed. The campaign is moving forward. The deal is ours. I look at Ophelia. She looks calm. Of course she does. I'm practically vibrating. Once we're outside, she turns toward me. You were excellent. I blink. Me? Yes, Clara, you. I smile. Thank you. You knew the material. You handled the questions. You didn't panic. I wanted to. I know. I laugh. She gives me a small smile. We nailed this deal. My chest fills with something warm. This is an important client for the company. I know. But what she says next matters more. You should be proud of yourself.
I don't know why those 6 words hit me so hard. Maybe because I don't hear them often. Maybe because I know how much work went into this. Maybe because for once, someone isn't treating my contribution like background noise. I smile. Then, before I can think better of it, I blurt, "We should celebrate." Ophelia looks at me. I immediately regret speaking. Then she says, "I agree." My heart jumps. "I'd like to take you to lunch." "Oh, my treat." "Oh." She watches me. "Are you always this eloquent?" "Only around intimidating women." Her mouth curves. "Good to know." And suddenly, I'm smiling again. The restaurant is near the water. Ophelia apparently listened when I mentioned beaches. I look at her. "You seem to have really listened on the airplane." She takes her sunglasses off. "I told you I remember everything. I have a great memory." I smile. Lunch is unexpectedly easy. We talk about the city, the food, the client. Then the conversation drifts away from work. I tell her about my favorite places to photograph. She tells me about an old movie she watched last weekend. I make fun of her taste. She informs me that my opinion is invalid because I haven't seen it. I promise to watch it. She says she'll hold me accountable. I'm not sure why that makes my heart flutter. After lunch, she asks, "Do you still want to see the beach?" I don't hesitate. Absolutely. So we walk, and somehow the woman who terrifies half our company spends the afternoon walking beside me in the sunshine. We take our shoes off, walk along the sand, stop at a little place near the beach for drinks. Ophelia tries something with fruit in it. She takes one sip, makes a face. I laugh. "What's wrong?" "This is terrible." "You ordered it." "I was deceived." "By whom?" "The menu." I laugh so hard I nearly spill my drink. She watches me, smiling, and I realize I haven't felt this happy in a long time. We walk again. The ocean stretches beside us. The afternoon is warm. Eventually, we lie down on the sand. I stare up at the sky. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you think 30 is old?" Ophelia turns her head. "Absolutely not." I laugh. "You answered that very quickly." "Because it's an absurd question." "Not where omegas are concerned." Her expression changes. She sits up slightly. "What do you mean?" I pick at the edge of the towel. "In society, people start treating omegas differently around this age."
How? Like you're running out of time. I sigh. Marriage, children, finding an alpha, settling down. Do you want that? I look at her. No. The answer is immediate. I've known it for years. I've rejected several marriage proposals. Ophelia looks genuinely surprised. Several? Yes. Why? Because I didn't like them. And they only wanted me because I was an Omega who could have children. She nods. Fair. I smile. But that's not the only reason. She waits. I take a breath. I don't want to become someone's dependent. Her expression softens. I want my own career, my own money, my own life. You should. I've had people tell me I'm making things harder than they need to be, that Omegas cannot advance in a corporate career because they're never picked for higher positions over alphas or betas. My family and friends keep telling me I should marry a rich alpha and have an easy life.
Being married to someone who wants to oppress you isn't an easy life. I know, but people think just because someone will spend money on me and keep me in material luxury, it can be a substitute for them respecting my choices and me as a person. Ophelia looks out toward the ocean. Independence isn't something a woman should have to apologize for. I like independence too. Who doesn't? Something in my chest tightens. I look away, because suddenly I understand something. This woman gets me, really gets me, and that is far more dangerous than finding her attractive. I can handle attraction. I can ignore attraction. I can survive a crush. But liking someone, trusting someone, wanting to know them, that's different. I turn onto my side. Ophelia is watching me. What? Nothing. You're staring. I know. I smile. I see. So are you. Maybe. My heart stutters. I laugh nervously. You're getting bold. I blame you. For what? Encouraging me. I shake my head. You're impossible. So I've been told. We both laugh. The sound mixes with the waves. For a few minutes, everything is perfect. Warm sand, blue sky, ocean air. Ophelia beside me. I close my eyes. And then my stomach twists. I open them again. Something feels wrong. At first, I assume it's the heat. Then, nausea rolls through me. I sit up. My heart begins pounding. No, not now. I know this feeling, the sudden warmth, the heaviness, the strange ache beginning low in my body, my instincts waking up. My breath catches. Oh God, no. I look at Ophelia. She's already sitting up. Clara? I swallow. My hands start trembling. I know exactly what's happening. My heat isn't supposed to start for another week, at least. I had calculated it, planned around it. I thought I had time. Apparently, my biology didn't receive the schedule. Ophelia's expression sharpens. What's wrong? I can't answer immediately. My face burns. My heart races. The ocean suddenly feels very far away. I whisper the only words I can manage. I'm going into heat. And the moment I say them, I realize something much worse. I'm nowhere near home, and the only person with me is the alpha I've been trying very hard not to fall for.
Chapter 4. Ophelia. I'm going into heat. For 1 second, I don't move. I just look at Clara. Her face is pale, her hands are trembling, and her scent changes completely. The warm, familiar Omega scent I've been noticing all afternoon suddenly floods the air around us. Sweet, rich, overwhelming. My body reacts before my mind catches up. My heart pounds. My blood rushes hot through my veins. Every alpha instinct inside me wakes at once. Protect her. Get her somewhere safe. Keep her comfortable. Don't let anyone near her. I take a slow breath, then another. I have never experienced anything quite like this. I knew I was attracted to Clara. I realized that yesterday. Somewhere between her telling me about being an Omega in a world that constantly tried to decide her future for her, and the way she smiled when I thought I was being ridiculous, I stopped thinking of her as merely an impressive employee. I liked her, personally. That much was obvious. But this is different. Her pheromones are turning every protective instinct in me to maximum volume. I force myself to remain calm. Clara looks terrified. "Hey," she looks at me. "You're okay." Her eyes are already shining with panic. I'm not supposed to go into heat yet. I know. I calculated it. I believe you. It isn't supposed to happen. I know. She takes a shaky breath. I don't have anything with me. That's fine. Ophelia. Clara. My voice comes out firmer than I intended. She goes still. I soften it immediately. We'll handle it. I'm with you. You're not alone. Her shoulders drop slightly. I take off my jacket. The afternoon breeze has picked up, and Clara is beginning to shiver. I drape the jacket around her shoulders. There. She looks down at it. You'll be cold. I'm an alpha. She gives me a confused look. What does that have to do with anything? Apparently, I become very stubborn when I'm worried. Despite everything, her mouth twitches. Apparently, I smile. Fine, extremely stubborn. She takes another shaky breath. I crouch in front of her. Can you stand? She tries. Her knees wobble. I catch her immediately. Her hands grip my arms. The contact sends another rush through me. Her scent surrounds me. My instincts practically roar. They want to touch Clara in forbidden ways, make her mine so that she always knows I'm her alpha. But I don't let them make decisions for me. Easy. I'm sorry. Stop apologizing. I keep doing that. I've noticed. She gives me the smallest smile. There she is, still Clara, even when she's frightened. I help her stand. Let's get you back to the hotel. She nods. I keep one arm around her as we walk, not because she can't walk, because she shouldn't have to manage this alone. The hotel isn't far, but every step feels too slow. Clara keeps looking around. Do people know? No. Are you sure? Nobody is paying attention. We reach the hotel. I speak to the front desk. She's unwell. We need the room prepared for her. The receptionist looks at Clara, then at me. Of course. I give her the room number. Please send up extra blankets, bottled water, and some cold packs. Certainly. And have room service bring dinner, something healthy, appropriate for a sick person. Clara looks at me. I'm not sick, and you don't have to spend my money on room service. I know. I turn toward her. I'm doing it anyway. She looks strangely touched. We take the elevator upstairs. This time, I don't think about how close we are. I think about whether she's breathing comfortably, whether she's still trembling, whether her face is too warm, whether she needs anything. When we reach the room, I unlock the door. Clara steps inside, then stops. She looks around. I realize what she needs before she says anything. Do you want the curtains closed? She nods. I close them. The room becomes dim and quiet. Better? Yes. But I need a nest. I'll help you. I set my bag down. Then I start arranging the bed. Extra pillows, blankets, one beneath her head, another beside her. I build a comfortable little nest without making a big deal of it. Clara watches me. What? You're very good at this. At making beds?
Taking care of people? I pause. I've had practice. I don't explain. Not yet. I grab a bottle of water and hand it to her. Drink. She takes it. A few sips. More. She looks at me. Are you always this bossy? Yes. I order room service. Something simple. Soup, toast, fruit. Nothing too heavy. While we're waiting, I fill a small basin with cool water from the bathroom and bring it back with a clean towel. Clara looks at me suspiciously. What are you doing? Cooling you down? I can do that. Not in your current state. Let me do it for you. I wet the towel, wring it out, then gently place it across her forehead. Her eyes close. I watch her relax. Better? Much. I sit beside the bed. Not too close, close enough. A few minutes later, room service arrives. I bring the tray inside. Clara looks at it. You ordered enough food for 6 people. I ordered enough food for 1 Omega who is in heat. Your body needs nourishment at this time. I had lunch. That was before you went into heat. You need more food so your body can get through this. I move the tray closer. Try the soup. She looks at me. You sound like someone's mother. I raise an eyebrow. Do I? Very much. That's concerning. She smiles weakly. You're like a mama bear fussing over her cub. I laugh. I don't think I've ever been compared to a mama bear. You're fussing over me. You keep checking my temperature. I haven't checked your temperature. You're thinking about it. I can't argue with that. Clara takes another spoonful of soup. I watch her carefully. The sight does something strange to me. I like taking care of her, more than I expected. There is something deeply satisfying about making sure she's comfortable, about knowing she needs something and being able to provide it. My instincts are still intensely focused on her scent, her warmth, her vulnerability. But beneath all of that is something quieter, something more personal. I care about her. Not because she's an Omega, not because her heat has triggered something biological in me. I cared before this. This only makes it impossible to ignore. Clara sets the spoon down. I think you're enjoying this. I look at her. Enjoying what? Taking care of me. I don't answer immediately, because she's right. I am. Her cheeks turn pink. I reach for the towel and replace it with another cool one. She closes her eyes. Ophelia? Yes? Does this bother you? I know what she means. The heat, her scent, the situation. No. She looks relieved. I continue before she can misunderstand. Right now, with your Omega hormones triggering every alpha instinct I have, I feel very much like a protective, possessive alpha. Her eyes widen. I smile gently. But that doesn't mean I get to make decisions for you. She looks at me for several seconds, then whispers, Thank you. I brush the cool towel lightly across her forehead. You're welcome. Eventually, she lies down. I pull the blankets over her. She looks exhausted. Try to sleep. She nods. I stand. I'll be downstairs in my room. Her eyes open. What? I'll give you some privacy. I turn toward the door, then feel a small tug on my shirt sleeve. I stop. Look down. Clara's fingers are curled around the fabric. Her expression is vulnerable. Don't go. My heart aches. Please. Her voice is weaker this time, but I can feel her neediness through her tone. I sit back down. What do you need? She hesitates, then whispers, Your scent helps. My chest tightens. She looks embarrassed. I know it's probably strange. It's not. I feel calmer when you're near me. I look at her. For someone who spends so much of her life insisting she doesn't need anyone, Clara looks incredibly vulnerable right now. And somehow, I understand. I've spent most of my life doing the same thing, pretending I don't need anyone, pretending independence means never wanting comfort. It doesn't. Sometimes strength is simply knowing who makes you feel safe. Do you want me to stay? She nods. Could you... She stops. I wait. Could you hold me? The question is so quiet I almost don't hear it. My heart squeezes. Of course. I move carefully onto the bed beside her. She hesitates for a moment, then shifts closer. I wrap an arm around her. She settles against me almost immediately. Her breathing begins to slow. Like this? She nods. Then, after a second, she whispers, "Could you spoon me?" I smile. Yes. I shift behind her, one arm around her waist, the other beneath her pillow. I keep enough distance to make sure she can move freely. Clara relaxes against me. Her shoulders finally loosen, her breathing steadies, and her scent fills the space between us. My alpha instincts settle. Not disappear, settle. Because she's safe. She's warm. She's here. I lower my chin near her hair. Better? Much. She sounds sleepy. Thank you. I hold her a little more securely. She falls asleep slowly. I feel the exact moment her body gives up its tension. Her weight settles against me. Her breathing becomes soft and even. I stare into the darkness, and something inside me feels impossibly full. I have spent my entire life chasing something: security, respect, success, proof that I belonged. I thought if I worked hard enough, if I became good enough, if I built something nobody could take away from me, I'd finally stop feeling like the unwanted girl from the orphanage. But sitting here with Clara in my arms, I realize something. Maybe a life isn't complete because you've finally proven yourself. Maybe it's complete because you finally have someone you don't have to prove yourself to, because they already know how brilliant you are. I look down at her. Clara, the Omega everyone expects to settle, the woman who keeps fighting to build a life on her own terms. I understand her, more than I expected. We're different, but we're also strangely alike, both underestimated, both judged before they're known, both forced to prove that our worth isn't determined by the circumstances we were born into. My arm tightens gently around her. I don't know what tomorrow will look like. I don't know what happens after this heat ends. I don't even know what Clara will think when she wakes up and realizes she spent the night in my arms. But tonight, none of that matters. Tonight, she's safe. And for the first time in a very long time, so am I. The story continues in the next part. Find the next part on my YouTube channel.